Oh, Alex, you're just how I remember you. You gorgeous, big-eared little... What the fuck?
What is it?
Hello, welcome to the Essential Gamer. You're watching What Is It? And what it is Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX, essentially meaning Alex Kidd remastered, HD'd, updated. It's Alex Kidd. It's the exact Alex Kidd that you played on the Master System 2, same as me, same one that I own on my Master System 2 console. It's perfect. It's a perfect rendition of it because it is exactly the same game with updated graphics, updated music, updated, up jimmied, up fancied. Everything is up, including the thing in my trousers, because it is so perfect. It's literally a pixel for pixel remake. I mean, I did test the original version. I got out the Master System 2, had a little look. Some things are slightly different. There's some input differences that I will talk about in a minute, but for what it's worth, it is an exact remake. They've remade the music, remade the graphics, remade animations, but everything is in the same place as it was. All the levels are identical, all of the puzzles, all of the enemies, everything is exactly how it should be. There is nothing that has been left out of this remake. This has clearly been made by people that thoroughly loved and enjoyed the original. I can't fault it. I can't fault it for its passion in its remake. So let's talk about the stuff that's new, shall we? So one of the first things I'll point out is the fact that you can change Alex's diet on the loading screens. Look at that, the chunky little monkey. He's loving it. Some other new things. So obviously new animations. Everything has been re-animated. And there's some additions. There's some slight additions to both the classic version and the new version. So sorry, to explain what's happening here, I'm not playing the Master System 2 version. When you see the old pixel style graphics, that is in fact just a tap of the R2 trigger that sends you back into a remade version of the original game. Another tap of the R2 and woof, you're in future animated version. So you get two versions of the same game. So you get the original remastered and remade, as well as the DX version, I suppose we'll call it. And it's all there. Everything's there, from the secret routes and things like that to all the added extras. All still there, all exactly where it should be. But what the devs have managed to do is give you these two separate versions of the same game, so they feel slightly different. The attacks in the new version, you get this sort of double triple punch that you can spam, and the attacks in the original version feel a lot more like the original version did, with this sort of solo punch, much higher jump, much more sort of exact platforming. I wouldn't say the newer version plays that much differently to the point where it feels easier, because it doesn't, but you can swap between the two modes and see the differences between the presentation and everything else, as well as getting all this new stuff from the new mode. You know, you get all the new details, you get the speech bubbles, you get the NPCs. It's really satisfying. So there's some other new stuff as well. You get a collectibles page. On this collectibles page you get all these secret bits and bobs that you pick up, including this lovely little pixel Master System 2 that made me feel all gooey and nostalgic. And nostalgia is very much the name of the game. Well, actually the name of the game is Alex Kidd in Miracle World, but it will make you feel like you did when you played the original one. And just like the original one, it's so difficult, they've added an infinite lives mode. I didn't know how I felt about it at first, because I was like, well, I'm not really sure about this, but as they pointed out in the promo for the game, you might actually complete it this time, because just like the original, it's really fucking hard. Like, it's so hard. At times, I wanted to lob the controller. I wanted to just hoy the entire PlayStation system out of my window and not think about it again. And I remembered, this is how I felt about the original one. But the difference is that I never completed the original one. I got to the castle and I got emotional about everything because of the constant deaths. And, you know, for nostalgia, you could certainly just swap it back to how the original one looked so that you could die in original vision. But as I said, the new stuff that's added, the NPCs, the speech, the detail, really does add something to it. It makes it a new game, and it was certainly appealed to anyone who was playing platformers or anyone who enjoyed the original Alex Kidd and the original sort of Sega platformers that were around, because it's just such a loving rendition. It's obviously something that has been made by fans of the original, very much the same way that Streets of Rage 4 was made by Dotemu, and they obviously loved the original material. These guys obviously loved Alex Kidd because it's so wonderfully done. I was just taken back to being a little kid, but I felt like I was playing that original version for the first time again with everything that's been added. Fantastic. Love it. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX is a Triple H joke waiting to happen, which I'm not going to say because I'm not clever enough to think of one. But what I will say about it is that it is obviously made with love, it is made with care, it is wonderfully animated, excellently presented, and probably one of the best remakes this side of Streets of Rage 4. Let's face it, that was a remake of an original game. This is a remake of everything about Alex Kidd. It's fantastic, and I highly recommend it to anyone who likes platformers or old school gaming. I'm obviously a big fanboy of Alex Kidd. I went out and bought a Master System 2 just a couple of weeks ago just so I could own the original game again. That's how much I loved it, and now I've got this version of it, which it's not exactly the same as the original, but it certainly makes me happy as a fan of Alex Kidd. As always, if this video has been any good to you, please do like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, tell me why in the comments and we can have a little game of rock, paper, scissors, and I will guess the right answer every time because I use cheat codes. So, screw you, buddy. Screw you.